Hey guys, so today I'll be taking a look at the 2024 presidential primary candidates for both the Democratic and Republican parties and taking a look at which candidates are the most likely to win and which candidates have the most support as of right now. So before we get into that, make sure you join my Discord server if you have not, the link to which is at the very top of the description below, along with my new YouTube channel. Subscribe to that would really help me out. I'll get content on there very soon. So taking a look at the Democratic primary, as you can see, we have many of the major candidates that are very well known, candidates that ran in 2020 and candidates that are just very well known that lost elections. So, we don't see Better O'Rourke on this, which I think is pretty surprising. But this poll isn't the newest. We have Joe Kennedy III on there. He just lost his race against Ed Markey, so I think that he might run, but we'll see if he gets the support. But right now, the most likely candidates are Pete Buttigieg and Kamala Harris, with Pete Buttigieg at number 1 according to this poll. This is basically just who Democrats will consider voting for, so this is more than 100%. So 30% of Democrats and lean Democratic voters right now say that they would consider voting for Pete Buttigieg, but definitely that's going to increase. You cannot win a primary with just 30% of your party's support. It's definitely going to increase. So 30% right now for Pete Buttigieg, 26% for Kamala Harris, should of course become the but the vice president of the United States, not a senator from California. She would become the former senator from California. Pete Buttigieg, mayor of South Bend, Indiana, but he would almost definitely have a position in the cabinet for Joe Biden, probably ambassador to the UN right now. That's what he seems to want, and I think that he would do a very good job in that role. I think that would definitely send a message as he is in the LGBTQ community, and he would be the first, one that would be an ambassador to the United Nations. I think that would definitely be a statement, and I think that he has a very good chance of being the ambassador. So he would have a lot more experience, that which would lead to a lot more support, because that's what Buttigieg lacked in 2020. He basically checked all the boxes, except he did not have the experience that people thought that he needed to be president. And I mean, the mayor of a small city, I don't think he had the experience, but as an ambassador to the United Nations, I think that he could definitely have a much better chance at winning. Kamala Harris, vice president, she would of course have a lot of name recognition and would automatically be one of the most likely candidates. Cory Booker, I don't think he's going to win. I think he's going to run. I think he's going to do all right, but I don't think he's going to win. Cory Booker, honestly, not the most inspirational candidate. You have AOC on here. She would not actually be 35 years old when she was running, but she would be 35 years old before the election, so we'll see what happens there. I think she can run, though, but right now, 20% of Democrats will consider voting for her, basically just the entire progressive base. And what's surprising is that only 17% of female voters say that they would want to consider AOC as a possible Democratic nominee. I think that because of her age and just how young she is, I don't think she'll become the nominee. I think that she's going to lose to someone, and I think she might run, or maybe she will want to wait, or maybe she would run for the Senate. I don't know. We'll see. But I don't see AOC winning the primary in 2024. I think 2028 is definitely her year, not 2024. Oprah Winfrey, I don't think she's going to win. I mean, 20% of voters would consider her. I think she would be an all-right candidate, but I just don't see her getting into politics that much, but we'll see. She's been saying that she might run for a long time, so maybe 2024, will be her time. Stacey Abrams, she of course was the former gubernatorial candidate for governor in the state of Georgia. She, I think, definitely Democrats are going to look at it much more favorably after 2020 with Joe Biden winning Georgia. I think that she definitely did have a profound impact on the Democrats' presence there in Georgia and her voting initiative, I think, there, so getting more people out to vote. I think that she definitely did a very good job with that. But, her trying to be the vice presidential nominee for Joe Biden and just how petty she was, I think that, not petty, but just how obviously she made it look like she was just trying to get it, just trying to get the job. I don't think that was a good look, but I think people are just going to completely forget about that. But I think that Stacey Abrams should be all right. Even Klobuchar, honestly, she's not the most inspirational candidate. I think she was all right in 2020 personally, but I don't think she's going to win. Maybe vice president, we'll see. I think that without the Black Lives Matter and racial tensions that occurred during the summer, I do think that Amy Klobuchar would have been Biden's nominee, but I do think that Kamala Harris would have been the better choice. So that's good for Biden, I guess, but I think that Klobuchar definitely had a very high chance of being the nominee. She aligned much more with Joe Biden, and I think that, she didn't really have too many strong attacks against him. She really didn't attack him too much. She led Biden in the primary by dropping out right before Super Tuesday, giving Biden the state of Minnesota, basically, and I think that, Joe Biden's definitely going to pick her as a part of I think that he would have picked her as a part of his cabinet, but, with her from Minnesota and a seat that Democrats do not want to lose to the GOP, I think that she would definitely have to stay as a senator. I don't think Democrats would consider too many senators becoming, members of the Biden's cabinet just because, they are already not looking too great in the Senate. I don't think they want to lose even more seats. So Amy Klobuchar, I think she would stay in her Senate seat, but I think that definitely she had a very high chance of being the vice presidential nominee this time if it wasn't for the Black Lives Matter protest and the killing of George Floyd. So Amy Klobuchar, 2024, we'll see. Joe Kennedy III, of course, a descendant of John F. Kennedy, I believe Robert Kennedy. So he lost his primary race to Ed Markey for the Massachusetts Senate seat. If he had won that, he would have basically won the Senate seat, but he lost. He is still a congressman for Massachusetts, I believe, or, I'm actually not too sure about that, if he actually still ran again, but he would at least be a former congressman for Massachusetts. I think that definitely his loss was a signal that, Massachusetts might not, be so into the Kennedys as much anymore, but I think that he would definitely be a good candidate. Definitely not as good as his predecessors, but I think that he would be all right. I think he'd do all right in the primary. Whether or not he would win, we'll see. Gavin Newsom, 10%, Michael Bennet, 7%. So really these candidates down here, I don't see any that are too inspirational. You have Gretchen Whitmer, Roy Cooper. I don't think these are going to be, too inspirational candidates that are going to be able to go from nothing all the way up to being the nominee. So really right now, I think that these top couple of candidates have the best chance. We have Pete Buttigieg, Kamala Harris, Cory Booker, AOC, Oprah, we'll see. I don't think Oprah's going to run, to be honest. We have Stacey Abrams, Amy Klobuchar, Joe Kennedy III, and then Gavin Newsom. I think those are the most likely candidates right now. Of course, you have to put Joe Biden in there because if he's the president and he's running again, I think that he will win the nomination. There's never really been a chance or a time where the incumbent lost their primaries nomination. You saw that some of them they dropped out, like Lyndon B. Johnson in 1968, but I don't think that they're going to, lose if they actually try, like Jimmy Carter. Although he had a very strong challenge from Robert Kennedy, he still ended up winning, however, not by the largest of margins. So among Republicans, it's a lot more interesting here. We have Mike Pence, Donald Trump Jr., Nikki Haley, Ivanka Trump, Marco Rubio, Mike Pompeo, Greg Abbott, Rick Scott. So basically what you would expect. But I think that with Donald Trump losing this election, so this was conducted before Trump lost the election, but I think that with Trump losing the election, and of course reports of him running again, I think that definitely he would be at the top if he were to run. And I think that would definitely, kick off Donald Trump Jr. as well as Ivanka Trump. They would not be on this list just because they're not going to run against their father. And if Trump wants to run again, they're going to wait more time if they want to run. Mike Pence, he's not going to run if Trump runs. I don't think so. Honestly, Mike Pence does not have, any sort of star power. He really only shines when he's with Trump. I think that by himself as a candidate, he's not going to do well. He has absolutely no, inspiration behind him. He is just the most bland candidate you can possibly think of, and that's what Trump needed in 2016 because Trump is very exciting candidate, I guess, for a lot of people, and exciting in a bad way for many people as well. But he choosing Pence was able to give those Republicans who wanted a more professional, I guess, person in the presidency in the White House, with Mike Pence there as well. I think that they would have wanted to vote for Trump a little bit more than if Trump had chosen someone else that what didn't have as much experience as Mike Pence. So Mike Pence balanced out the experience for Donald Trump just like Joe Biden did for Barack Obama. But really, Mike Pence, he's not going to win the primary. I don't think he's going to be the 2024 nominee. I think he's going to be like Jeb Bush, doing well in the beginning and then crashing and burning. But really, if Trump runs again, it's not going to be Mike Pence. Nikki Haley, we'll see if she wants to run. I think that right now she has the highest chance of running and winning against Donald Trump if Trump would run, because Donald Trump Jr. and Ivanka Trump, they would both not run. Marco Rubio, I think he would run again. It's been 8 years since 2016. Basically, it was Chris Christie just completely destroyed his campaign in that debate in 2016. I think that he'd have a lot more experience from Florida. I think that he definitely had a higher chance of winning. Mike Pompeo, we'll see. He's not exactly exciting either. Greg Abbott, I don't think he's going to do too well either. Tom Cotton, I could definitely see him doing pretty well. He's young. I think that he'd do all right. Ben Sasse, President pro tempore, he's not. I don't know why I said that, but Or is he? I'm really not sure. I forgot who it was, but I don't think it's Ben Sass. We'll see. I'm sorry about that, but I don't think that he's going to do too well. I don't think any of the lower candidates are going to do too well. They're really not exactly the most exciting. I think that Trump, if he were to run, I think Trump would win again, just like I think if Joe Biden were to run, he would win again. So really, it's whether those two candidates from 2020, whether they are going to run once again. And then right now, the New York Post, this is kind of an article saying who could be the Republican presidential nominee in 2024. They have Ron DeSantis, governor of Florida. They have Ted Cruz, Texas senator and runner-up in the 2016 primary against Donald Trump. I think he did all right. He had definitely the best challenge against Donald Trump, but in the end, he still lost by quite a bit. Of course, he has that podcast right now. Tucker Carlson, I don't know. I don't think he's going to do too well. Nikki Haley, I think she definitely has a very, very good chance at winning the primary in 2024. And then, of course, you have Donald Trump and his family members. I think that definitely someone from the Trump family is going to run, whether it would be Donald or it would be his sons or Ivanka, but definitely someone from the Trump family, I think, is going to run in 2024. Trump right now, he's 74 years old. He would be 78 if he were to run again, which is, just a little bit older than Joe Biden, who would turn 78 in just a couple of days here. So he would be 78 when he gets inaugurated. So really, Trump could see another run. He would basically be the same age as Joe Biden. Bernie Sanders is not going to run again. He's 79. We're not going to nominate an 83-year-old for president. Joe Biden would be 82 when he wins the presidency and gets inaugurated his second term. But I think that as the president, he would have a higher chance to do so than Bernie Sanders, who, hasn't won yet. And I don't think he's going to run again. Second place finisher in 2016 and 2020, very unfortunate for him. But I think the presidency is out of reach for him at this point in time. Kamala Harris, she would be 60. I think definitely she would have a very high chance. Elizabeth Warren, 75. We'll see, but I don't think she's going to run again, probably. Hillary Clinton, we're not going to see another run from her. I think she's done with politics at this point in time. So taking a look at the betting odds right now. So basically, if you don't know how to read betting odds, I'll just say lower number is better, higher number is worse. So basically, if you put in $100, that is how much you would win back. You win $400 with that $300 net that you would get if Kamala Harris won if you put in $100. So right now, Kamala Harris for the Democratic Party has the highest chance of winning, followed by Joe Biden, followed by AOC, which is pretty surprising to me, followed by Andrew Yang, who was not on that poll, but I think he definitely has a very good chance. I think he's almost definitely going to be in Biden's cabinet as well. We have Beto O'Rourke on here as well. Michelle Obama is not going to run for president. She is not going to run. Do not bet on her. It sounds good, but if you actually have her run, does it really sound as good to you anymore? She's very popular, but that's because she's not in politics. Once you get into politics, you're really not as popular as you were before. Andrew Cuomo, I think definitely has a very good chance. Bernie Sanders, no. Elizabeth Warren, no. Stacey Abrams, I think she can definitely run. Pete Buttigieg, yes. Michael Bennet, no. Michael Bloomberg, he's not going to run again. That was just absolutely disastrous for him in 2020. Amy Klobuchar, I think she can run. Cory Booker as well. Gretchen Whitmer, I think she can run as well. But Deval Patrick, absolutely no effect on the 2020 race. He basically, all we heard from him was that he ran, and then that's all we heard from him. I have no idea what he even did. Tulsi Gabbard, she's not going to run again. Val Demings, Hillary Clinton, Kirsten Gillibrand, I don't think they're going to run. Tammy Duckworth, honestly, I think that if she ran, I think she would do all right. I don't think she would have done bad if he would have run in 2024. Now, for the Republicans, we have Donald Trump at the top. Now, this is betting on, so this is much more newer, I guess. So, Donald Trump at 400. Mike Pence, same thing. So Mike Pence, Donald Trump have the same chance of winning right now. I think if Trump announces, he's probably going to do better than Mike Pence. Nikki Haley is next, of course. John Kasich, he did all right in 2016, but nothing close to the top. Josh Hawley, we'll see how he does. Ted Cruz, maybe. Tim Scott, I'm not sure. Tom Cotton, I think he would do well. These other candidates, Donald Trump Jr., if Trump runs, he's not going to run. Same with Ivanka Trump. Kanye West is not going to win. Kayleigh McEnany, she's not going to win. Tommy Tuberville is not going to win either. Lindsey Graham, I want to see Lindsey Graham run, honestly, but I honestly don't think he's going to win. I think he has no chance. He's just so unpopular at this point in time. We have Jared Kushner on there as well, Mitt Romney even. Just a lot of candidates that are really not going to win. Rudy Giuliani is not going to win the Republican primary. So really, it's just between those top couple of candidates, top 6, 7, 8, that really have a chance at winning. And then for the eventual winner, we have Kamala Harris at the top, followed by Donald Trump, followed by Nikki Haley, Mike Pence, Andrew Yang, and then Joe Biden. So I think that if Biden runs, it really depends on how his presidency goes. Same for Kamala Harris. It really depends on how the Biden presidency goes, how they can deal with COVID-19 and all of that. So I think that if Biden has a very smooth presidency, I think Biden and Kamala have a very high chance at winning. But if, it goes disastrous for them somehow, I think that Democrats would probably opt for someone else. So we'll see. And so, yeah, that is basically the candidates for the 2024 Democratic primary and Republican primaries as well. I think it'll be pretty exciting for us to see 2 primaries again, but it really depends on if Biden runs. I think if Biden does run, he will have some pretty serious challengers, but we'll see what happens. I think that, I don't think Biden's going to run again, but I think that having 2 primaries is going to be a lot more exciting instead of just 1. So, yeah, basically, these are the candidates that have the higher chance of winning right now. Definitely, we could see, some newcomers like we saw with Pete Buttigieg in 2020. So, yeah, thank you guys also so much for watching this video. Make sure you join my Discord server as well as subscribing to my YouTube channel if you have not. And yeah, I will see all of you guys in the next video.